All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 8th of September, 2021, middle of the week. Spy here again, really doing not a whole lot. Bitcoin's still hovering around like 48, 47, I think, as I'm doing this right now. Other housekeeping on the day before we get going. Market internals on the day. Nasdaq's still pretty low dollar volume, 180 billion. NYSE 233 billion. OTC is 2.3 billion. We're only 24 minutes after market close, so not that much more in the after hours, but that's it for fundamentals coming into the market today. Really not a lot on the watch list and nothing really piquing my interest on the mover scanner. BBIG and SPRT putting in some opportunities and traded both of those with some fun times. I'll get into it as we get into the trades here. But yeah, really not a whole lot else going on. Although only one other ticker that I wanted to mention as well too. Also a short trading day for me too. We also got family still here that we're taking care of. I'm using it as a little bit of a vacation for my mental health in a sense too, of just stepping away from the computer more, going outside more, getting more of that vitamin D here in Arizona. But loving life every single day and taking the green days as they come for sure. So first trade on the day, be big for me. Man, did I get freaking hazy with this one. So obviously came into market day with putting in a huge amount of volume day, and obviously the day from yesterday too. Big reclaim day, pushes back around these kind of all-time highs, spiky level here. The reason I was so attracted to this one was just because of the volume level that was put in the pre-market. I was so astonished by these volume candles. Looking at it on a slower time frame here, I mean, touching over 400,000 in each of these candles, pushing nice amount of dollar volume size in each of these minute candles in the pre-markets, which was an indication to me, hey, this thing could go a lot more today with the amount of dollar volume that's being pushed in. Maybe there's more potential shorts. Maybe these are the big boys that are just hoping to get out as quick as they can in pre-market because potentially something's coming later during market hours. Whatever. I knew I wanted to be in this at least a little bit. And whether in a haze or whether in my stupidity or mistakiness, instead of buying the 10 shares that I wanted to buy, I bought 100 shares for $1,000 position size, which I did not. That's not a good, even 10 share position size is not a good position size either way too. I really don't know what I was thinking in this, for how chasey this first entry was of a trade this is. Yes, I can call it a little bit of a waiting for it to break. I certainly thought we had more than this 11.5 in the tank in the pre-markets, and especially during market hours too, which of course it did. Not for very long, but even $1,000 for my position, where I'm at right now as a trader, $1,000 position size for this little chasey entry, stupid position size. Even $100 chase for position, even that too is just wasting mental capital. What do I think I'm going to gain from that? It's just nothing. Shouldn't have been. Even how convicted I was, and even how much I thought this could have gone to the upside, I should have stuck around maybe a $500 position size if I was so convicted of it and been willing to stick around longer than what I was initially. I think I saved myself a little bit and stuck to my rule set of when I make a mistake, correct it. When I realized, oh my gosh, that's an extra zero on where I didn't want to be a zero, not panicking out, just saying, okay, I know I can, it's not going to go hard against me. Even I'm in the green immediately from that point of when I entered, staying safe in that. But that was kind of a wake up call immediately of, okay, get your game on. That was a mistake. Now correct it. Let's go on. And of course, it still keeps rising, puts in a new high here after this point. So we get a little bit, this little trend line put in with red bottom wick candles being bought up the whole time, pushing to new highs. A little bit of a sell off back to VWAP right at entry. Huge spike right away from the gate. That just immediately went to the upside, and then quick and insane reversal. This isn't that huge of volatility percentage move to the downside, but it was still just, and I knew that's why I do not want to be a part of these things within the first minutes of market hours. It's just absolutely ludicrous. Trying to predict where it's going to go or even think that you can predict what it's going to do within these first few minutes is just ludicrous to me. So then, of course, rejected VWAP once again with this candle. Again, here at this candle, it was just a little bit of sell-off here, trying to bring in more shorts. Actually squeezed them out a little bit, and then I was way gone already by this point. I think I was out of the market definitely by 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I didn't see this, but he just got this huge rejection here at the new high day attempt of 12.5. So that was pretty crazy to see on this one. It'd be interesting to see what we want to do in the next few days here. This was a $3.4 billion volume day, over 1.2 million trades on the day as well as BBIG, because this was kind of only the bell ball. Like I said earlier, there's just not a lot going on the scanners, not a lot else to bring in the degenerates, especially from the long weekend. You would think everybody would just be chomping at the bit to try and get some plays going, but it did push these ones a little bit, but not crazy enough. So BBIG, yeah, managed to escape out with an $8 win on my $1,000 position size. Let's go, baby. I'll take the green when I can, but it was a little dicey. SPRT was the other one, of course. So I played this more of still looking for that first green day opportunity in this backside we've still been in from the crazy initial spike. Never really had a true pure green day on the candles themselves or really intraday. So I also looked at this one in companionship with BBIG of those kind of two runners ran at the same time, and they do operate a little similarly. So looking at this one as it was lagging a little bit and moving to the upside with a little bit of sympathy from BBIG, and it was holding here, failing to really sell off to show that it wasn't connected. If it was showing weakness, then I would have known, hey, the trade is over. It's definitely not a sympathy play, but it was kind of perking a little bit with just a few minutes behind when BBIG would still continue to rise, or when it would pull back. Then it would definitely pull back here around this time frame. So I just started a little bit of entry size, got to an appropriate position size, which I considered around like $500 position size for me, getting in, I think 10 shares, 5 shares, I think 25 shares was my full position size on this one. Into what was, now that I reflect on it, a perfect 5% move from my average entry, which was just under $21. That's what I told myself yesterday too. And from watching that video in the intro, I'm saying to myself, man, I'm never running into the problem where I'm cutting my profits short too soon. I have not run into that problem for months. And I'm picking tops pretty nicely with my first exit, what I consider, I'm just taking safe profits when they're there, but still holding shares on to the rest of the future. And this is like a perfect epitome chart for me of what I feel I've been doing, of just cutting my profits in half, thinking that there's way more room to the upside. And I think that's found in the definition of what I view as a single, and then holding myself to, I need to be looking for that 10% move. It's not a real trade if it's not 10%, blah, 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 all these different guidelines that I just hold myself accountable to that were kind of built within that 2020 market. But this was a beautiful opportunity to take a 5% trade. Yeah, maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda. I was definitely going to scale back, especially from my position size error on BBIG. I wasn't going to go full blast on this one, but I think this is the type of thing that I need to be doing in the future. I lucked out pretty nicely with kind of getting in at this point here, how quickly price action skirted to the upside right after my entry. I thought there was going to be a little bit more of a delay potentially if BBIG was fooling around with those high days, and then maybe played for market hours, that first minute squeeze, selling into that potentially, any of that. But yeah, I lucked out pretty good right away with that trade. And this is what I need to be nailing. And I'm convincing myself that I am trading like, the real trader. I'm trying to trade the whole intraday chart when I truly should be focusing on nailing the small thing. How do I think I'm going to be able to nail the full intraday trade when I really haven't even mastered the small intraday trade yet? That's because I can't. And that's so much more mental capital for me too, with how much less reward on that of trying to think that, I can trade it here, of I'm holding on shares even still from this position and letting the chart develop and trying to trade even more on market hours or any trend that develops from that point too. I got to nail and bail. I got to get out and keep the mental capital just free and loose. And I think this was another great day of taking steps forward and defining what I need to be doing right now. Not necessarily defining myself for the entire rest of my trading career, but understanding that each market day is different. Each season of the market is going to offer the opportunities it offers, and I've got to be able to adapt to what that market is saying for the day. And yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda taken off the full position size right at that 22 mark that I perfectly did, even though I didn't really realize it at the time of carrying on from what I said yesterday, that these are the things that I need to be looking for. I need to be looking at a single as a 5% move and taking that off as an awesome trade. Hey, sweet. If it goes on beyond more, and I do that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more times where I'm cutting my profits so short and these things are going to 10, 15, 20% beyond my exit, then I can adjust and say, okay, now I can start to look at the single as the 10% move, or taking half of the position off at that 5% still, and then looking to scale out even more as it's climbing a little bit higher, giving it loose end. But we're nowhere near that point, and that's just where we're at. So even as I was preparing this video, I knew this thing is just go absolutely berserk in the after hours here. Man, this thing could go to 30 before tomorrow's open, for how little this thing has actually put in a green day. We had a crazy move into the close here, a little bit of sell off, but no halts in the after hours, no restrictions. It's an incredible far ways away from VWAP here at this point, but how much weight VWAP has in the after hours really doesn't make a difference. So we'll see. Yeah, this will definitely be on the watch list if it has any crisis. The move may be over by the time the market opens tomorrow, but these are just more files to put in the database for trading opportunities in coming summers, in coming years, and for the rest of my trading career. File these charts in the database to learn from them for the future. And that's a tough part too, of trying to focus on how much time I should be spending in front of the screen learning from these charts when the opportunities really aren't there. And then my mind is starting to now place trades there that aren't there, or force things that aren't there. And because there are opportunities, and especially in the next chart that I'm going to show in GSAT, how much should I force these types of things? Are more moves going to come out of this? It's just the different factors of that too. And I think learning more in hindsight from this market, especially as I'm still growing and saving more mental capital than just completely burning it out and just slamming my head against the table every single day, trying to chop myself in and out and death by 1,000 paper cuts type of thing. But that's just what the market is. It's meant to absolutely wear you down, and I'm all for it 100%. So this is GSAT again. I've traded this one plenty of times before. This one was the recent runner with a huge volume day here on the 30th, I think that was. I did this little bit of consolidation, then I was trying to trade it for a third day play on the fourth day, which was a nice 8% opportunity on that one. And I didn't see this one. I think I was already really gone, or I pulled it up randomly just as I was about to head out for the day around this point, as it already had this nice peak. And I was thinking, man, I could probably buy this thing, just hold on to it the rest of the day, set a limit order at 2.5 to even $3, and just come back to a nice and healthy profit on this one. And didn't get all the way to 3, but certainly hit to 2.5 and obviously to 2.7 here. So perfect little consolidation above VWAP. You get failure, but then break back above, higher low here. Testing this little range once again, then more volume comes in. This is a $15 million volume candle within this 1 minute here for the breakout above that point, which was also the same. This was the breakout, from that first initial day, or no, just this kind of range here, 2.4, I think at that point, which was pretty insane to see the amount of volume. The dollar volume is there to push it that high. That's what it required. It definitely would have not have done that without that volume there to push it. Pushed even a little bit higher, and then you get this little bit of sell off here, holding at 2.45. New high a day tests in and out, choppiness, sell off here in this candle. This candle here was either 11 million. Yeah, then you get this 4.4 million volume candle, which was $11 million volume candle in this second breakout push, second new high a day push. A lot of dollar volume being put in today. Total on the day was only 680 million, 332,000 trades on the day. But it kind of needed it. Of course, that very first day was a huge volume day, and this one, close to half of that, 557 million to 278 million. So yeah, just a little over half of what it did that first day, but nice price action to come to that. We'll see if it's got any room for 3, what it wants to do in the next few days here. Of course, this is a slower mover, and it's the huge floater. So it's not like this thing is just going to go absolutely parabolic before you realize it, but it'll certainly keep it on watch for what it wants to do in the next few days. And that is really all I had. Nothing really going hard on the watch list for me tomorrow. I don't know how much I'll trade any of that day too, even if any high percentage movers make it on the scanner, make it to my echo chamber of my head in the morning. But that is certainly trading, and that is all I had today. If I can type spy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys on the next one.